Welcome back to the second half of our city, where we're being joined by Debbie Manns from the New York, New Jersey Baykeeper Organization. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Debbie, can you discuss the recent developments with our oyster restoration projects and how it relates to the city of Elizabeth?
Sure. So for the last 10 years, New York, New Jersey Baykeeper has been working to restore the oyster in the Hudson Raritan Estuary, including the Arthur Kill and the Elizabeth River. And as part of the program, we have what we call oyster gardeners, and these are volunteers that tend to nets of oysters along bulkheads or docks, and they check them on a regular basis for growth and mortality and report back to us about how they're doing, and it gives us a lot of information about the health of the estuary. And we were poised to start a new garden here in Elizabeth with the Elizabeth River Arthur Kill watershed. Unfortunately, the state put a ban in to ban the use of oysters for research and restoration purposes, so that project's on hold.
Okay. Now, Lisa, you're the veteran. You've been here a few times, and you've in previous shows mentioned a comprehensive restoration plan for the harbor that the Corps recently completed. Can you please tell us about that plan?
Sure. And it actually relates a lot to what Debbie's trying to do as well. Pretty much everything that's in here is you're an advocate for to advance. But the restoration plan, and I have some copies here. It's a part of our Hudson Raritan Estuary feasibility study, and what it does is it sets the vision that everyone will hopefully have agreed to advance and adopt to advance the restoration of the whole harbor in the future. And so it not only identifies the goals, what are we trying to restore, and we've set very optimistic goals for 2015 and 2050 to advance certain targets, and everyone has agreed upon 11 priority targets, and one of them is oysters. And so we've been working with Debbie and a lot of partners to basically bring back the oyster reefs that have been lost over time, but as well as wetlands and eelgrass beds and maritime forests, and opening up tributary connections and cleaning up sediments and improving water quality, all of those types of activities and restoration goals, but then identifying where you want to, where should the particular projects or restoration opportunities be located, and then how we will all work together to advance it, all the partners.
Now, if the CRP was implemented, and what would this harbor look like for the people of Elizabeth and around the region?
Well, you know, if you achieved your goals and we all work together to advance, when you go out and visit the estuary, you would get to go and see a lot more healthy wetlands. You would have a lot more public access points to actually be able to view the wetlands. You'll be able to, hopefully the sediments will be cleaned up, where you have the fish advisories to be removed, and where you can actually eat the fish and without risk. And so there's, you know, all of those particular goals, and I think the next steps for restoration for this particular plan as we move forward and evaluate each of these restoration opportunities. I think some of the things that we're doing right now is marrying up our harbor deepening and our sand dredging that we're doing, and actually be able to advance restoration not only in creating wetlands out in Jamaica Bay, but we're working with New Jersey DEP to hopefully be able to cap some landfills, clean up some Superfund sites, so that when you actually, in this area as well, so when you go out there you can actually see some restored and cleaned up areas.
Now, to backtrack for a minute, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, Pedro, but tell us about the Elizabeth River and Arthur Kill Watershed Association, if you can.
Sure. The Elizabeth River Arthur Kill Watershed Association was formed as part of FCI to enhance the quality of life in and around the watershed for all of its natural and human residents. We do this by investigating, impartially evaluating, and effectively removing threats to the integrity of the watershed.
Okay. And Debbie, what is next for the Baykeeper regionally and locally for Elizabeth?
So for the past 20 years, Baykeeper has been working to improve water quality in the estuary, and we have a clean water campaign that we're embarking on right now related to combined sewer systems. These are present in many of our older communities, including Elizabeth, and it was just a way of how the cities were built. And so when we get a rainfall event, the system overloads because the storm water comes in with the sanitary water, and then that untreated water moves out into the Elizabeth River and the Arthur Kill watershed. So we're working with the Elizabeth River and Arthur Kill Watershed Association to bring awareness to this situation, because when we improve the water quality, we'll be able to bring back our oyster program and start our project here in Elizabeth.
Okay. And Lisa, what role does the Corps play locally, I mean specifically in light of this upcoming event?
Well, I always love participating in the Estuary Day event at the community center, and I know one of the things that we try to do is utilize this opportunity to educate people and bring and facilitate and integrate, trying to reach the communities, and that's why it's really important to work with the local organizations and our environmental advocates. But one of the great parts of the day is collecting the organisms that are out in the harbor and seeing the kids that come to the touch tank and and all the tanks to really see, wow, this is the organisms that were out there in the estuary, and they have no idea sometimes. They just think that it's so degraded. And so educating them on not only what's living out there and the diversity that's out there, but as well as educating on all of the Corps of Engineers programs and basically teaching them what they can do and how they can get involved to advance all the great activities that are occurring here.
Right. Now, Pedro, can you share a little about what you're studying and your future plans?
Oh, sure. Well, right now I just started my 4th year of studies at NJIT as a mechanical engineering major. And along with that, I'm also a McNair Scholar. What that is I'm actually an undergraduate research student, and I'm working with a mechanical engineering professor studying light-activated chip memory polymers. All you need to know is that they're advanced materials, and the reason we're studying these is because one, we want to understand what they are, how the mechanisms, and two, develop a model to actually, predict the behavior of this material. And with those models, engineers can one day, develop materials that are unconventional to your steel, your woods, and hopefully develop products. I mean, they have structures in place right now, products like aerospace structures, energy devices, and even applications for biomedical uses. But it's just they need something more concrete, to predict the behavior. To answer the second part of the question, after I finish my undergraduate degree, I'm going to go straight into graduate school, get a master's. I'm in engineering. And then hopefully, with the right conditions, the capital, I actually want to start my own business. I don't know in what yet, but
I was going to say, what type of business after all that?
Well, something in engineering. So
excellent.
The Army Corps of Engineers is a good place for engineers.
Oh,
you have your job. Look into that. Sorry, that was a job offer right there. So Debbie, what role does the Baykeeper play locally?
So we're out patrolling the local waterways on a regular basis. We have a Baykeeper boat, including the Arthur Kill. And just last week we were out and we saw a bald eagle on the Arthur Kill hanging out by the old garbage dump on Staten Island. So we're out there, we're looking for signs of pollution and taking care of it for the local community.
Wow. Now, to both of you, in closing, what clean water message do each of you care to give to our residents? Who wants to go first?
Well,
go ahead.
Okay. Mine is just to keep your storm drains clean. This helps keep the water clean, keeps floatables out of our waterways, including plastic bottles. Pick up after your pets. That washes right down the storm drains out into the waterways and contributes to pollution in the Arthur Kill and Elizabeth River.
Okay.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, we have drift boats, drift collection vessels out there every day collecting floatables and that are hazardous to navigation that's going on out there. And we definitely, want everybody to understand that if you end up throwing it out and it's not in an actual garbage can, it's going to end up in your stream and end up in the estuary. That makes it a definite problem. And so, especially to any kind of liquids that go down your drain, I think all the kids have to realize they have to educate their parents into improving the water quality. But Also, getting involved with any kind of local efforts, and I know your oyster gardening program, or I would love to see some restoration efforts where we have some planting and just bringing people back so that they can really appreciate what this harbor brings to them and the resources, so that everyone can work together to help restore, as well as work with your local constituents to basically advance the future of bringing a big funding source to this region so we actually can do great things.
Okay. Now, if someone wanted to get additional information about Estuary Day here in Elizabeth, is there a website or a phone number they can reach out to?
Well, I would say it wouldn't be your...
Future City?
It would probably be Future Cities, but
okay.
I know if you're going to ask for, if anybody wants Corps of Engineers information, you'd want to go to our Corps website, which is www.nan.usace.army.mil, and you can get all the information what the Corps is doing, plus download a copy of the Comprehensive Restoration
You mind repeating that one more time?
No problem. It's www.nan.usace, United States Army Corps of Engineers, .army.mil, and so that's our website.
And that's where you're going to be working at soon, so you better remember that also.
Ooh, and I also should mention another website, the Waters We Share website, which
that's
is
easier to remember.
Which is and that's much simpler. The Waters We Share, because we all share these waters, and we all need to improve them together. So.
And that's their website, or
www.watersweshare.org.
Okay. And is there any additional information you want to share?
You know, just on the Estuary Day, you know, that is very school oriented, so hopefully a lot of the students will be participating that are already signed up, but you can find more information from the Future City Inc. website, and our website is www.nynjbaykeeper.org, and it has a lot of information about our oyster program.
And you talked about the touch tank earlier. You want to elaborate on that just a little bit so everyone get a visual? A visual.
Okay. Well, hopefully in the big tanks we'll have rays and skates and hopefully even a shark. I don't know. That's when we're really lucky. I love when we actually collect seahorses along with all the other invertebrates that are out there, sea stars and sea urchins and just a whole slew of different organisms. And so we'll have big tank and then also lots of little flat touch tanks so that the kids can actually hold the organisms in their hand and really get to learn about them. And we'll have lots of biologists there to explain all of their biology and life history.
Okay. And Pedro, by chance, do you know the contact information for Future City, or phone number, or website?
Yeah, the website, you can reach us at www.futurecityinc.org. I don't know the telephone number off the top of my hand, but we also have a lot of videos up on YouTube. You can just put FCINJ, and you'll see a whole list of videos ranging various topics, and they have some videos from past estuary days.
There's a lot of love and a lot of concern coming out of Future City for projects like this, so we thank them. So thank you all for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Once again, if you haven't done so yet, please join us on Facebook, City of Elizabeth NJ. Just hit the page and hit like. Also, www.elizabethnj.org for all upcoming events here in the City of Elizabeth. Thank you. Have a safe and wonderful week.